I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. So continuing with Ezekiel, we just read chapter 43 about the cleansing of the altar, got a description of the altar, the cleansing of the altar, and the ordinances that will be performed there with the sacrificing of animals once again instituted. We now read chapter 44. The glory of the Lord filled the house of the Lord. No strangers may enter the sanctuary. Services of the priests in the temple are set forth. Then he brought me back the way of the gate of the outward sanctuary, which looketh toward the east, and it was shut. Then said the Lord unto me, This gate shall be shut, it shall not be opened, and no man shall enter in by it, because the Lord, the God of Israel, hath entered in by it. Therefore it shall be shut. It is for the prince, he shall sit in it to eat bread before the Lord. He shall enter by the way of the porch of that gate, and shall go out by the way of the same. Remember in the last chapter, God came into the temple by entering in through the east gate. And apparently that has sanctified the gate to the point that nobody else can use it except the prince. So maybe, I said in the last video that it sounded like the God they were talking about was Christ, but maybe not. From this sounds more like it was the Father who came through. God himself comes in. And now he's saying the only other person that can use that gate is Christ. Verse 4. Then brought he me the way of the north gate before the house, and I looked, and behold, the glory of the Lord filled the house of the Lord, and I fell upon my face. And the Lord said unto me, Son of man, mark well, and behold with thine eyes, and hear with thine ears all that I say unto thee concerning all the ordinances of the house of the Lord, and all the laws thereof. And mark well the entering in of the house with every going forth in the sanctuary. And thou shalt say to the rebellious, even to the house of Israel, Thus saith the Lord God, O ye house of Israel, let it suffice you of all your abominations, in that ye have brought into my sanctuary strangers, uncircumcised in heart, and uncircumcised in flesh, to be in my sanctuary, to pollute it, even my house, when ye offer my bread, the fat and the blood, and they have broken my covenant because of all your abominations. And ye have not kept the charge of mine holy things, but ye have set keepers of my charge in my sanctuary for yourselves. Thus saith the Lord God, No stranger, uncircumcised in heart, nor uncircumcised in flesh, shall enter into my sanctuary, or any stranger that is among the children of Israel. And the Levites that are gone away far from me, when Israel went astray, which went astray away from me after their idols, they shall even bear their iniquity. Yet they shall be ministers in my sanctuary, having charge at the gates of the house, and ministering in the house. They shall slay the burnt offering and the sacrifice for the people, and they shall stand before them to minister unto them, because they ministered unto them before their idols, and caused the house of Israel to fall into iniquity. Therefore have I lifted up mine hand against them, saith the Lord God, and they shall bear their iniquity. And they shall not come near unto me, to do the office of a priest unto me, nor to come near to any of my holy things in the most holy place. But they shall bear their shame and their abominations which they have committed. But I will make them keepers of the charge of the house for all the service thereof, and for all that shall be done therein. So first of all, we have the uncircumcised of heart and the uncircumcised of flesh. Now the reason for this is that everybody descended from Abraham would have had the tradition of circumcision. That means the Ishmaelites, the Midianites, the Edomites, the Moabites, and the Ammonites, because Lot would have been circumcised. He followed the covenant of Abraham. All of these people would have been circumcised in flesh, but they are not circumcised in heart. They are not following the true law. That's why we have this the separation. We have the two groups, uncircumcised of heart and uncircumcised of flesh. Then we have this kind of condemnation of the Levites, saying, you let the people turn to idols. You helped them turn to their idols. You did the work of the idols. And so now you're not allowed to do the full work of the temple. You will be in the temple. You will be the keepers of the doors. You will slay the burnt offerings, but you will not be able to do anything in the actual ordinance, because you helped Israel turn to their idols. Verse 15. But the priests, the Levites, the sons of Zadok, that kept the charge of my sanctuary when the children of Israel went astray from me, they shall come near to me to minister unto me, and they shall stand before me to offer unto me the fat and the blood, saith the Lord God. They shall enter into my sanctuary, and they shall come near to my table to minister unto me, and they shall keep my charge. So apparently the family of Zadok stayed faithful through all the wickedness of Israel. The priests descended through Zadok maintained their charge in keeping the house of God. And so they will be able to continue that in the last days. Verse 17. And it shall come to pass that when they enter in at the gates of the inner court, they shall be clothed with linen garments, and no wool shall come upon them, while they minister in the gates of the inner court and within. They shall have linen bonnets upon their heads, and shall have linen breeches upon their loins, and they shall not gird themselves with anything that causeth sweat. And when they go forth into the utter court, even into the utter court to the people, they shall put off their garments wherein they ministered, and lay them in the holy chambers, and they shall put on other garments, and they shall not sanctify the people with their garments. Neither shall they shave their heads, nor suffer their locks to grow long. They shall only poll their heads. Neither shall any priest drink wine when they enter into the inner court. Neither shall they take for their wives a widow, nor her that is put away. But they shall take maidens of the seed of the house of Israel, or a widow that had a priest before. And they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and the profane, and cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean. And in controversy they shall stand in judgment, and they shall judge it according to my judgments. And they shall keep my laws and my statutes in all my assemblies, and they shall hallow my Sabbaths. And they shall come at no dead person to defile themselves, but for father, or for mother, or for son, or for daughter, for brother, or for sister, that hath had no husband, they may defile themselves. And after he is cleansed, they shall reckon unto him 7 days. And in the day that he goeth into the sanctuary, unto the inner court to minister in the sanctuary, he shall offer his sin offering, saith the Lord God. And it shall be unto them for an inheritance. I am their inheritance, and ye shall give them no possession in Israel. I am their possession. They shall eat the meat offering, and the sin offering, and the trespass offering, and every dedicated thing in Israel shall be theirs. And the first of all the first fruits of all things, and every oblation of all. Of every sort of your oblations shall be the priest's. Ye shall also give unto the priest the first of your dough, that he may cause the blessing to rest in thine house. The priests shall not eat of anything that is dead of itself, or torn, whether it be fowl or beast. So the last portion here is really just a summary and reiteration of the law of Moses regarding the priests. This is really just a renewal of that order of priests. Now it says they will not shave their heads, nor cause their locks to grow long. They will poll their heads. I mean, to poll is to thin out, is to cut your hair a little shorter and thin it out. So they won't shave their heads like the priests of other pagan religions do, but they won't let it grow out wild and shaggy. They're going to keep it well tended. We're going to leave that here because, as I say, it's just the order of priests that existed under the law of Moses will be reinstituted, will be brought back, and those will become. Now, I will say one last thing is that it is possible that this is not literal. This is how ancient Israel would have viewed the priests. This is the law that this could just be saying the priests will do their duty and they will fulfill the law. And so we're given this list of Mosaic laws because that's the law that the Jews at the time of Ezekiel would have been familiar with. But today, this prophecy could be fulfilled in the high priests or the priests doing what is their duty in the modern day. Having a parallel. So the priests at that time, they do their duty in this way. Priests today do their duty in this way, and both are considered a fulfillment of this prophecy. It's a possibility. I think actually that both are probably likely. I do think that the descendants of Aaron, who are the priests of Zadok, the descendants of Zadok, will be brought back, will be reinstated as the bishops. Because that's what Aaron was. He was the bishop of his day. He was the presiding bishop. Anyways, this is just my thoughts. I'm going to leave it here. This one's getting a little long, so we will see you in the next chapter.